Pepelwerk is proud to present Strategic Shift, a podcast dedicated to exploring the future of work. Thank you for joining us as we hear stories of bold decisions and workforce innovations. I'm Christy Honeycutt, and I'm your host.
College degrees, it's changing in our culture, the value of that degree. I think it's changing in some job categories more than in others. But
I agree.
I used to ask managers, or you'd always have this question as you did intake meetings with managers: what's the value of that degree in your business? Well, they got to have a degree. Why? What's the value of that degree? What does that bring somebody? What do the candidates with degrees or the employees that you've hired with degrees have that people without degrees don't have? And so I think it's important, if you don't have a degree, if you're not going to go that path, that you sit and think through that. In my job category, what are the things that a degree would help me to do? And it's typically research, it's writing, to some degree it's collaboration, it's being able to handle numbers. You learn in almost every degree how to handle the numbers in your business. What are the numbers in your business? And numbers are really critical. So I think for most entry-level jobs, some of those things are not as important. Those jobs are more prescribed. But as you're going to move up to the next level, even senior direct contributor, certainly if you're going to move to team leader manager jobs, and you can't see the process. You can't see how important the collaboration is in your process with people outside of that process, right? You've hired team leads in the recruiting business. I've hired team leads, right? And that's what typically you want: somebody that really executes the process really well. But then you want somebody that also can look up and see the next layer and say, hey, if we change these things, this would work better down here. And so to me, that's, again, it's a perspective, it's a bit of research, it's the ability to handle numbers and metrics and data. It's the ability to test your own opinion and validate your own opinions or other people's opinions. Those are things that you learn to do in college with a college degree. And so if you're not going to be on that track, but you want to have a career where you have some advancement, you need to learn how to do those things anyways, right? So how do you do that? I don't know. You get a coach, you do some research, you take a couple of classes, or all kinds of online classes for these things. But I think you gotta, to some degree, you gotta quantify what's the value of a degree in your specific field. And then decide how do you accumulate some of those skills, and how do you display. Sometimes it's just displaying those things. I meet a lot of people in the construction industry who actually can do those things, but they don't know how to write and display those skills for themselves on a piece of paper that proves to them that they can do it, that proves to an employer that they can do it. So I think to some degree that's the other thing. In a college program, you're required to present ideas in a way that's consumable by other people. You're required to defend those ideas. I think those are some things that are important as well.
That was a very good answer. It was a long one. I knew I threw you a zinger, but that was such a great answer. And
about half of that later, I know you are.
Oh no, it's all relevant, and it is great because our world is changing, and there, with the rise of technology and how much we're automating everything, I think there's going to be a focus, kind of a shift coming on EI and EQ, and then people we've talked about it for years. How do you translate something technical for the rest of the world? So it's just helping candidates or people understand how do they translate their value so it's digestible for an organization to see their value, because they're navigating fraud, several different applications. I mean, in the world of work, we're all trying to figure out how that's going to change for salary and hourly. Is it going to be more automated? Is it going to be more AI? So there's lots of stuff for them, for both parties, both camps, to subscribe to and try to navigate. And it's a tough one because, employers, we're all navigating which way to go with tech and how to elevate and answer some of those questions, have that open mindset. But I loved kind of taking the onus on themselves, right? And like seeking out how to be better in those things, the training and the coaching, the different things you mentioned.
A college program, people that go through college programs and get degrees don't always bring those skills with them. They don't always learn all that. They don't always bring those. They're not always good at those things. And so I think it's part of the debate is whether somebody that has a degree automatically has these things. No. Whether somebody that doesn't have a degree doesn't have those, definitely no. I think there's a case to be made on both. But I think again, the higher you go up, train team leads. I've trained managers now how to manage things. The higher up you go, where your value produces a better paycheck for you, and a more reliably larger paycheck for you. The more you need to understand the nature of work. And so we started this conversation, the nature of work, the value of the process that you're involved in, and what that means to the business, and how you alter that process or manage that process differently in a way to deliver more value, who your customers and all the rest of that. So it's an interesting thing to think about. You don't have to have a degree to learn that. You don't have to have an MBA to learn that. But some of those programs will sharpen those tools faster and more completely, more robustly than learning it on your own.